It's 4 a.m. and I'm wondering what on earth am I doing with my life. But then I remember I am here to entertain you guys, to bring a smile wherever you are. And in order to do this, I have decided to pluck, like bloop, a politician from United Kingdomski, the leader of the Lib Dems, and see her in a situation where she has to answer some of the most difficult questions.
Let's go to Anna in Warwickshire. Welcome to the show, Anna. What would you like to ask?
Thank you very much. Good morning. Joe, my question for you. It's really great that your party promotes women's rights. So please, can you tell me what a woman is?
Holy shit, I don't think we can even get the Mystery Machine and Scooby-Doo for this one. I think this should be the question at the $1 million competition, and it's like you can phone a friend, you can ask the public, you can do 50-50. Looks really difficult. I wonder if she's going to manage.
Well, I know I'm a woman, and I think we do.
I had a friend in school, and whenever the teacher asked him a question that he didn't study for, he would begin with the. It was the sound of either someone struggling him or trying to push a rod up his ass. It was difficult to tell which, but it was always that sound.
Well, I know I'm a woman, and I think we know what we are, and I think all women are important, and their rights need to be protected, whether they are black, Asian, white, whether they are gay or straight or bi, whether they have a very privileged upbringing or they don't have much money, whether they are cis or trans, whether they have a disability. We are all important in all of those different ways.
I don't think I'm really satisfied with that answer. Not at all. And it's important to know because how can I vote if I do not know the answer? Wait, that's not really the song I was going for. Oh yeah, this song.
Vote for me because I'm a woman. One of my merits is I'm a woman. All these mothers vote for me because I'm a woman. Because I'm a woman. Vote for me because I'm a woman. One of my merits is I'm a woman. All these mothers vote for me because I'm a woman. Because I'm a woman.
A woman running to be the first woman president.
I cannot imagine anyone being more of an outsider than the first woman president.
Who can be more of an outsider than a woman president?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge accomplishment to be born a woman. It is very difficult, and as such, they should become president, and they're worthy of my vote. But how can I vote if I do not know what a woman is?
How can you tell what a woman is?
Well, I mean, I'm just sort of trying to understand, what you're getting at. I think we know when we engage with each other, when we know if we are a woman, right? And I can tell you that I am, right? So, and we're not going to, start a scenario where we go and perform inspections on people, are we?
So it's a matter of belief, I guess, or a sixth sense, the knowledge that when a woman interacts with another woman, she knows it's another woman. But I'm not a woman. So what about when a man interacts? How can I tell? I do not have the knowledge. I do not have the sixth sense. I used to operate by this very simple definition. Like, to me, this collar would have been fixed in a pleasurable way, that they would receive pleasure from me answering their question by just having 3 words. Adult, human, female. But apparently, no, we are, how much? We're already 1 minute in, and she couldn't answer.
No, what if a man wears a dress to work twice a week? Is he a woman?
Not necessarily.
But could he be?
Well, I think people can understand their own identity, and I think it's right to respect people in terms of their gender identity, and so that's for them to say.
If you dress as a woman twice a week to go to work, do you count, whose gender pay gap? Do you count as a woman for the gender pay or a man?
Well, clearly, in terms of the gender pay gap, members of staff will identify their gender in company records to HR typically, and the company will then produce the statistics accordingly.
Anna, can I?
Holy shit, I know how to fix the gender pay gap. all you have to do is identify as a woman, and you're going to be put in a statistic when you're now a woman. But you need to understand, all right? Ladies, you need to help out as well. If you're not making as much, just identify as a man. Like you don't need to do anything. Just tell HR that you're a man, okay? And if you're a man and you're making a lot, be like this individual. Gender fluid Credit Suisse director named on FT list of top 100 women in business. See, he is fighting the gender pay gap. Why aren't you? So apparently, gender fluid senior director Credit Suisse has been awarded a place on a list of the top 100 women in business. Stunning and brave, Philip Bonds, who is known to sometimes go to work in a wig and women clothing, was named on the Financial Times and Heroes, but it's spelled her with capital. See what they did there? Wonderful, magnifique. Champions of Women in Business list, an annual ranking of 100 couple leaders. See, we are now fixing the gender pay gap. We allowed feminists to try and fix it for so long, but clearly they do not. So it is up for us men to fix it, okay? All you need to do is to identify as a woman, and there it goes. The gender pay gap just goes away.
Typically, and the company will then produce the statistics accordingly.
Anna, can I explain why this has become a talking point within the Liberal Democrat campaign? It's because you've promised complete reform of the Gender Recognition Act and effectively said you will remove the need for medical tests and fees, that individuals will be able to self-identify. Now, I mean,
to be honest, largely can currently, and I think that this, formalises that, and it, removes what are existing barriers that end up, creating discrimination on a very vulnerable group of people.
And whilst we acknowledge that there is a group of people who are certainly vulnerable, need support and need certain protections, there is a significant body of women who feel that they will be deprived of safe spaces.
Yes,
to translate what she said, is that the Lib Dems allegedly want to help transgender people. But their legislation allows for abuse. All you have to do is to identify as transgender, and you will have dishonest people who are not transgender, and they're just claiming to be in order to get certain advantages. Why is this so hard and difficult for people on the left to understand? Every time I try to explain to them, it's like, hey, you're against transgender people. Listen, you moron. Okay? When you create a piece of legislation, the dishonest actor doesn't give a shit about your intentions. A person will be like, okay, so, and this actually has happened, by the way. Let's say we would take this to the most extreme case, right? Let's say that you live in a society where all you have to do is to identify, and people will treat you accordingly as whatever you have identified as, right? So let's assume you have a rapist and he is arrested by the cops and he has to go to prison. Well, all of a sudden, he has a life-changing experience. He says, I identify as a woman. And the law says that he doesn't have to show any medical records. Doesn't have to show that he took any sort of hormone therapy. Doesn't have to show that he did any surgery. Doesn't even have to show that he is changing his lifestyle. All he has to do is say identify. So now this gentleman is going to be placed in a woman's prison. Do you not see a problem with this? Am I literally the only one that thinks that maybe the law should be a little more difficult to be taken advantage of people that are misintentioned, that aren't the one that the law is supposed to be targeted, but they realize that they might have an opportunity in order to take advantage of a situation. Just like, how can I reach these kids? How can I reach these kids with the black flag and the hammer and sickle and their pronouns in their bio on the Twitter? How can I reach them? I have tried so many times to explain the situation to them, and they're like, yeah, you hate trans people. No, just love here. Just love, just utter love. But I just, I'm doing my best. I don't know what else to do.
Everyone has a right to express themselves, and people's choice of partner, spouse, clothing should not be affected by their sex in any way. But under self-ID, what's to stop a male sex offender walking into the changing room and say, do you know what, today I identify as a woman? Should we be kind and let him?
So, I mean, in a sense, I've gone into gym changing rooms, right? And I've never been asked for a certificate.
So this is another thing that I keep hearing from the left, and they do not understand that when you change the rules, you change the game. Yes, right now, no one is going to ask a person that goes into a gym locker room or a person that wants to go to a women's shelter. They're not going to ask for identification. Usually people are so good at stereotyping that they're able to stereotype a man from a woman right off the get-go. But most men will not go into a woman's gym locker room right now. Why? Because, first of all, in some places it might be a crime. You are going to be treated as a pervert by the rest of the society. And in my country, horrible country, by the way, very, very backwards, very conservative, you will get your teeth kicked in, and you will pray that the police arrives faster than the bystander have their way with you if you go into a woman's only space as a man. But with that said, if we change the rules, if we just say, well, anyone that just claims he identifies is able to go. Like, he doesn't need to show any sort of ID, he doesn't need to show any sort of effort that he put into transitioning, doesn't have to show any sort of surgery or anything like that. All he has to do is to say, I identify as, and he can go in. Well, if that's the situation, then what will happen is that when women see such an individual going in, and even, let's say he acts strangely, you know, he's a peeping Tom, he is a person that's there obviously to cause trouble. He's a pervert. Well, women will not be able to kick him out. They cannot call security, because the moment you call security, security will be like, well, I don't want to kick this guy out because then he can sue me. So this is like what people are saying. And it's going to the most ridiculous places where most women are starting to realize this, which is why the scholar is asking Joe Swinson a question like, what do you mean by women? When you defend women's rights, are you defending my right? Or are you basically being an ideologue and you're allowing for the women-only spaces to be taken advantage by not transgender people, but other people claiming to be trans? And this is why Joe Swinson doesn't give an accurate response, and this is why she goes like, I think that it's because she's playing Minesweeper with political correctness. Like, she knows that every single word that she can say which is not politically correct, she's going to be hounded by her activists. So right now, this lady is trapped between a hammer and an anvil. The hammer is the very aggressive far-left activist on Twitter that will eat her alive if she doesn't say the correct things. And the anvil is the actual people that she is seeking the vote from, the majority of the population, which are the women, which is why she will never take a firm stance and she will just constantly go like... See, I have solved the mystery. I am Scooby-Doo and the Noggin Joggers. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, please consider sharing this around. And if you really like my channel, then consider giving me a super chat or a subscribe star account or something like that. Would really appreciate it. Even $1 helps a lot. Christmas is coming. I need all the moolah I can get. And I'll see you guys at the next video.